Hi Liz, my name's Heather and I'm going to be your nurse practitioner during your neurological exam. So first I'm going to just be observing how you talk, your mood, your dress, your hygiene, and your posture and symmetry. And then I'm going to check your alertness and orientation. So now I'm going to assess your orientation. Can you please tell me your name?
Liz.
And where are we right now?
We're in SPU.
And what time is it?
It is 7:48.
And what are we doing here today?
We're doing a neurological assessment.
Right. And then I'm going to check your remote and recent history. So how has the weather been today?
Sunny.
And where was the World Cup last year?
Brazil.
Correct. And I would check your intellectual, your intellect and ask you to spell world backwards for me.
DLROW.
Yes. And then I would test your judgment. So if you smelled smoke, what would you do?
I would go outside.
Great. Now we're going to be assessing your cranial nerves. And cranial nerve 1 is the olfactory. Do you have any problems smelling coffee?
No.
Okay. And cranial nerve 2 is optic. And for this, I would have you do the Snellen chart, but we'll skip that. And then I will check your peripheral vision with the CRIT test. Confrontation. So, great. Cover your right eye, and I'll cover my left eye. And tell me when you can see my fingers wiggle.
Now. Now. Now.
Great. And then keep that eye covered. Tell me when you can see the fingers wiggle.
Now. Now. Now.
Great. And then we'll do, we would do both eyes, but we won't for the purposes of this exam to speed it up. Then I'm going to check your then I would do the fundoscopic exam. I would have you look forward, and with my right eye, I'm going to look to your right eye with the light, and I'm looking for the red reflex. Okay, and I was checking for your the margins and your disc and your AV crossing, and making sure that I didn't see any nicks or lesions. Next, I'm going to check your cranial nerve 3, which is oculomotor. And I'm going to have you just look forward, and I'm going to check with a pen light. And I'm seeing that both your pupils are equal, round, and reactive to light and brisk. And now I'm going to check for consensual. Great. And then I'm going to have you look far away and then look at my pen light. Great. And your eyes converge and your pupils constricted. Now I'm going to check extraocular movements. And this is cranial nerves 3, the oculomotor, 4, trochlear, and 6, abducens. And what I'm going to have you do is follow my finger. And I'm checking for any nystagmus or bouncing of your eyes. Great. Now I'm going to check cranial nerve 5, which is the trigeminal. And I'm going to have you clench your jaw. And I'm going to palpate your temporal muscles and your masseter muscles. And you can relax. Now I'm going to either touch your forehead, your cheek or your jaw with something sharp and or dull, and I want you to tell me if it's sharp or dull.
Sharp. Soft. Sharp. Sharp. Soft. Soft.
Great. And now I'm going to test. That was to test for pain, and now I'm going to test for light touch. And I want you to close your eyes and tell me where, if I'm touching your forehead, your cheek, or your jaw.
Okay. Forehead. Jaw. Cheek. Cheek. Jaw. Forehead.
Great. Now we're going to move on to cranial nerve 7, which is the facial nerve. Oh, I would also do a corneal reflex, but I won't do that today. Then we're going to do cranial nerve 7. So can I have you lift up your eyebrows, furrow your eyebrows, and then squeeze your eyes really tight shut. I'm going to try to open them. Don't let me. Great. Then smile. Show me both your top and bottom teeth, and then puff out your cheeks. Great. Now we're going to check cranial nerve 8, which is acoustic. I'm going to have you occlude your right ear, and I'm going to whisper something into your left ear and tell me what it is. What I said.
Baseball. Apple.
Great. Now I'm gonna assess cranial nerves 9 and 10, and that's the glossopharyngeal and the vagus. Do you have any problems with taste?
No.
Okay. And I've just been watching you talk, and I didn't hear any slurring or stumbling or garbled speech. So just making note of that at this time. And now I'm going to look inside your mouth, and I'm going to look at your soft palate and your uvula with phonotation. And so go ahead and open your mouth, stick out your tongue, and say, ah. Great. Perfect. Uvula was raised midline, didn't deviate to the side. Now I'm going to check cranial nerve 12. Can you stick your tongue straight out, then to the left? Oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm going to assess your spinal accessory cranial nerve, which is cranial nerve 11. And I'm going to first assess your trapezius and then your sternocleidomastoid muscle. So can you shrug your shoulders and then don't let me push down? Great. And then turn towards my hand. Turn towards my hand. Great. That concludes our cranial nerve assessment. Now I'm going to do the sensory assessment. So, the spinal accessory assessment. And I'm going to have you close your eyes during most of these assessments, and I just want you to tell me if you can feel a sharp pain, sharp feel sensation. Okay, go ahead, close your eyes.
Now.
Great. We're going to do the same thing, but with a soft, light touch. So go ahead and close your eyes.
Now.
Great. Now we're going to move on to the vibratory sense. So I'm going to just strike my tuning fork, and when you stop feeling the vibration, just let me know, okay?
Now.
Great. And then I would do that also on your lower extremity on your big toe joint. Now we're going to do this discrimination test, and the first one is sternosis. And I'm going to have you close your eyes, and I'm going to place a familiar object in your hand. And go ahead and close your hand around it and tell me what that is.
That's a ring.
Yes. And I would do that in both hands with your eyes closed with different objects. Now we're going to do graphthesia, and this is where I draw a number in your hand, and it's like the number, it's like you're drawing the number, so it's facing you. 2, great. Then we're going to do 2-point discrimination, and this is where you tell me if you feel 2 points or 1 point on your finger pad. Again, your eyes are closed. 2. 2. 2.
1.
And then I would do that on both sides, and then I would also do that on your legs, on your lower extremities. Now we're going to move to point localization, and I'm going to touch a part of your body, and I want you to open your eyes and then point to where I touched you, okay? Here. Here. Great. And I would do that bilaterally on your upper extremities and then on her lower extremities. Now we're going to move to extinction. And this is where I either touch your left or right or both, and you tell me if it's left, right, or both.
Okay.
Right. Both. Great. Now we're going to move on to the cerebellar function. And I want you to point to your nose and then point to my finger. And I'm going to move my finger. Great. And I would do that on both sides to check to your upper extremities. Now I want you to take the right heel of your foot and move it down the left shin all the way to the big toe in one straight line. Great. And that's assessing your lower extremities. Now we're going to do alternating movements. I want you to move your hands palms up, palms down, palms up, palms down above your thighs. And then I want you to speed it up. Speed it up, speed it up. Great. And I'm checking for symmetry, movement, and smoothness. And then with the ball of your foot, you would tap my hand as fast as you can. Great, and I would do that on both sides. Now we're going to move on to deep tendon reflexes. And the first one I'm going to do is the bicep. And first I would have you relax, find the bicep tendon. And straight. And then the tricep, hold it, have you relax. And for reinforcement, I'd have you punch your jaw. Okay?
No, that's okay.
You got me so excited. Now I'm going to check your supinator DTR. Okay, great. Flex so I can see your tendon and then relax for me. Okay. And now I'm going to check your patellar tendon. Okay, and then I'm going to check your ankle, and I'm supporting her ankle and stretching out her Achilles tendon, and then striking her Achilles tendon, and then she's plantar flexing. Then I'm checking the Babinski sign. Sorry,
That's okay.
and with her socks off, I would. Great, and she should plantar flex, which is what she did. Okay, now moving on to your motor assessment. I'm going to inspect and palpate your upper extremities, feeling for any muscle atrophy and for symmetry. And then I'm going to have you grip my fingers. Great. And then close your fingers and try to move them out. Wonderful. And then try to push your fist down in extension. Okay? And then try to pull your fist towards you. Push them away. Awesome. Now lower extremities, inspect and palpate her muscles for atrophy or asymmetry. And then I'm going to have you lift up your thigh and push up, push down, extend your leg, pull it back, and then plantar flexion, push your toes down, and then toes towards your face, and then your big toe, just your big toe. Great, and I would do that on both sides. Now we're going to move on to the gait portion. It's kind of hard to show this.
That's okay.
I would have her walk, and I would assess her posture and how she's walking. I would have her heel-toe walk away from me, and I would have her walk on her toes. Then I would have her tandem walk, where she walks in a straight line heel-toe. Then we're going to do something which we can show right now, which is the Romberg test. And this is where she stands with her feet together and her hands at her sides, and then I'm assessing for any loss of balance with her eyes open. I'd have her close her eyes, and I'm right here if you get wobbly, so don't worry. And she didn't. So now we're going to do the pronator drift test, and this is great. She's standing with her arms out. I'm going to tap them, and they should go back up, and so that's a negative pronator drift. And that concludes